Every motorcycle brand has its hits and misses, but when it comes to Japanese bikes, some models just did not live up to the hype. These motorcycles were supposed to dominate the market, but instead they are collecting dust in showrooms. Stick around as we count down the top 7 bikes that dealers are desperate to move. Number 7. Kawasaki Vulcan S. Kawasaki aimed to create a bike that would appeal to both new riders looking for an approachable machine and experienced motorcyclists who wanted a nimble, stylish cruiser. The concept seemed promising, a sporty cruiser that could blend the best of both worlds. However, the Vulcan S ended up in an identity crisis, unable to fully capture the hearts of either target audience. At the heart of the Vulcan S is a 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, borrowed from Kawasaki's popular Ninja 650. This engine is known for being reliable, efficient, and smooth, delivering 61 horsepower and 46 pound-feet of torque. While that power output may seem adequate, it lacks the characteristic low-end grunt that cruiser riders typically expect from a V-twin engine. As a result, the Vulcan S feels more like a sporty commuter than a traditional cruiser, leaving potential buyers uncertain about its purpose. One of the standout features of the Vulcan S is Kawasaki's ErgoFit system, which allows riders to customize the bike's ergonomics. This system lets you adjust the foot peg positions, seat height, and handlebar reach to suit different body types, making the bike more comfortable for a range of riders. The adjustable nature of the bike should have been a major selling point, but even with these customization options, the Vulcan S struggles to fit into any specific category. Weighing in at 498 pounds, the Vulcan S is lightweight by cruiser standards, making it easy to maneuver around town and comfortable for extended rides. The braking system features dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, offering reliable stopping power. The suspension setup includes a telescopic fork at the front and a rear monoshock, providing a balanced ride quality. This combination makes the Vulcan S feel agile while maintaining stability, whether cruising the highway or navigating city streets. The Vulcan S's styling is another contentious point. Kawasaki aimed for a sleek, modern design, but many cruiser enthusiasts find it too contemporary and lacking the rugged charm that defines classic cruisers. The teardrop fuel tank, exposed frame, and minimalist aesthetic give it a somewhat unfinished look, especially when compared to the more polished designs of traditional cruisers. On the other hand, sport bike fans find the cruiser-inspired elements awkward and prefer the more aggressive styling of their usual rides. Dealerships are finding it difficult to move the Vulcan S off the showroom floor for several reasons. Cruiser enthusiasts are often brand loyal and lean towards Harley-Davidson or Indian models, which offer the deep rumble and distinctive styling they desire. The Vulcan S, with its parallel twin engine, simply does not deliver the same visceral experience. Riders accustomed to V-twins feel that the Vulcan S lacks the soul and character of a traditional cruiser, making it less desirable despite its modern technology. The pricing also contributes to the problem. With a starting price around $7,399, it is positioned as an entry-level cruiser, but many potential buyers would rather spend a bit more for a used Harley-Davidson Sportster or an Indian Scout. These alternatives offer more powerful engines, a more authentic cruiser feel, and higher resale value. If you think the Vulcan S has struggled to find its place as a tough sell, wait until you see the next bike, a former speed demon that is now struggling to find buyers. Looking for the best motorcycle gear? We've rounded up our top picks. Find them linked in the description. Number 6. Yamaha V-Max. Introduced to the world as a powerhouse on 2 wheels, the V-Max quickly gained a cult following for its raw power and intimidating presence. However, despite its legendary status, dealerships are now struggling to move this iconic machine off their showroom floors. One of the primary reasons the V-Max is facing difficulties in the market today is its weight and bulk. Tipping the scales at 684 pounds, it is far from being a nimble machine. While this hefty build adds to its road presence and stability during straight-line acceleration, it makes the bike cumbersome in urban environments and tight turns. The braking and suspension setup on the V-Max are built to match its ferocious power. It features dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, providing more than adequate stopping power for such a heavy machine. The inverted forks up front and the monoshock rear suspension are tuned to handle the immense torque and weight, but the ride can feel stiff, especially on rough city streets. At the heart of the V-Max lies a beastly 1670 cubic centimeter V4 engine. This monstrous power plant churns out an incredible 170 horsepower and 100 pound-feet of torque, making it one of the most powerful bikes in its class. The engine's performance is undeniably exhilarating, with power delivery that feels almost endless. Twist the throttle and the bike surges forward with a force that makes you feel like you are strapped to a rocket. However, this unparalleled power comes with a downside: practicality. While the V-Max excels at straight-line acceleration, it falls short when it comes to maneuverability and everyday usability. One major issue contributing to the V-Max's sales struggle is its identity crisis in the modern motorcycle market. Back when the V-Max first made its debut, riders were more focused on sheer power and bold aesthetics. It was an era when muscle bikes represented the ultimate statement of motorcycle dominance. However, today's riders are looking for a different experience. They value versatility, comfort, and modern features just as much as performance. In this regard, the V-Max feels like a relic from another time, a machine that excels in power but lacks refinement and everyday usability. Another factor that plays against the V-Max is its high price point. As a premium muscle bike, the V-Max comes with a price tag around $17,999. Putting it in competition with more versatile and technologically advanced motorcycles. Buyers looking for a high-performance machine now have more options, including sport touring bikes and naked roadsters that offer a balance between power, comfort, and everyday functionality. Fuel economy is another drawback. With its high-revving V4 engine, the V-Max guzzles fuel, making long rides expensive. Combine that with high maintenance costs due to its performance-oriented components, and you have a motorcycle that requires significant financial commitment. Riders today are increasingly aware of running costs, and the V-Max simply does not align with the more economical choices they are making. Insurance premiums are also notably higher for this bike, which further dampens enthusiasm among potential buyers. Power alone is not enough to keep a bike relevant in the ever-evolving motorcycle market. Up next, we have a model that once set the standard for precision riding, but now finds itself outpaced by modern competitors. Still with us? That means you're serious about finding those hidden gems and overlooked models. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe and like button and stick around for more. Number 5. Honda CTX1300. Honda aimed to create a touring cruiser that combined comfort with performance, targeting riders who wanted the best of both worlds. On paper, it seemed like a promising concept: a powerful engine, relaxed ergonomics, and enough touring features to take on long journeys without sacrificing style. However, in reality, the CTX1300 never quite found its niche. Instead of becoming a go-to choice for touring enthusiasts, it ended up being one of Honda's more forgettable models, now struggling to leave showroom floors. At the heart of the CTX1300 is a 1260 cubic centimeter V4 engine. This power plant produces 83 horsepower and 78 pound-feet of torque. While respectable, it falls short of the expectations set by other touring motorcycles in its class. The power delivery is smooth and linear thanks to Honda's engineering finesse, but it lacks the punch that many riders expect from a bike of this size and price range. While adequate for highway cruising, it does not deliver the same exhilarating rush found in some of its more performance-oriented competitors. Weighing in at 725 pounds, the CTX1300 is undeniably hefty, which becomes apparent during low-speed maneuvers and city rides. The braking and suspension setup are designed to manage this weight efficiently. The bike features dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, providing solid stopping power. The suspension comprises a telescopic front fork and twin rear shocks, designed to absorb road imperfections and maintain rider comfort. While the setup is great for straight-line cruising, it struggles to satisfy riders seeking a sportier, more dynamic ride. Another major problem for the CTX1300 is its design language. The styling is a bold departure from what many cruiser enthusiasts expect. The angular lines, integrated panniers, and wide front fairing give it a futuristic look that clashes with traditional cruiser aesthetics. For many potential buyers, this unconventional appearance was a deal-breaker. Cruiser fans typically seek timeless, rugged designs, while the CTX 1300's sleek and modern profile seemed too experimental, especially for older riders who prefer classic cruiser looks. Price also played a significant role in the CTX 1300's downfall. Positioned as a premium model, it had a starting price around $17,000, which placed it uncomfortably close to more established touring bikes, including Honda's own Goldwing. When potential buyers compared features and capabilities, the CTX 1300 seemed overpriced, offering neither the full comfort of a dedicated touring bike nor the iconic style of a cruiser. This left it overshadowed by better-known models that had a more defined purpose and stronger market presence. Fuel efficiency was another area where the CTX 1300 did not particularly stand out. While it was not exceptionally thirsty, it did not offer any real advantage over its competitors. Touring riders, who often cover long distances, expect better mileage and range, but the CTX 1300's fuel economy was average at best. This was especially disappointing given Honda's reputation for engineering fuel-efficient machines. If you thought the CTX 1300 was a confusing blend of styles, wait until you see the next bike on the list, a legendary name that has surprisingly struggled to capture modern riders' attention. We're deep into the list and you're still with us. That's dedication. Show some love. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss these insider scoops. Number 4. Suzuki GSXR600. Launched as a middleweight contender in the fiercely competitive supersport segment, it quickly became synonymous with track-ready performance and razor-sharp handling. For decades, the GSXR600 stood proudly alongside its bigger siblings, proving that you did not need a leader-class engine to experience true sport bike exhilaration. However, despite its celebrated legacy, the GSXR600 now finds itself struggling to remain relevant in today's evolving motorcycle market. One of the main reasons behind the GSXR600's decline is a shift in rider preferences. Back when it first appeared, riders were willing to sacrifice comfort and versatility for peak performance. The idea was simple. Lightweight chassis, high-revving engine, and aggressive ergonomics meant one thing: pure speed. The GSXR600 delivered exactly that, featuring a screaming inline-4 engine that begged to be pushed to the limit. But as motorcycle culture evolved, the desire for everyday usability became a priority. Under the hood, the GSXR600 packs a potent 599 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine, churning out an impressive 124 horsepower and 54 pound-feet of torque. This engine thrives in the higher rev range, demanding engagement and rewarding those who push it to its limits. Paired with a lightweight frame that tips the scales at just 411 pounds, the GSXR600 is undeniably agile, making it exceptional for carving corners and tackling twisty back roads. The braking and suspension setup is equally performance-focused, featuring dual front disc brakes with radial-mounted calipers and a single rear disc brake. The inverted forks at the front and adjustable monoshock at the rear strike a balance between stiffness and compliance, ideal for spirited riding. However, this focus on track performance compromises comfort, making it less suitable for daily use. One of the biggest issues plaguing the GSXR600 is the decline in interest toward high-revving supersport bikes. While older enthusiasts still appreciate the adrenaline rush of screaming engines and sharp handling, younger riders favor bikes that offer a more balanced experience. Models like sport tourers and adventure bikes have surged in popularity thanks to their ability to blend performance with a long-distance comfort. The GSXR600's razor-thin seat and hunched riding position make long commutes uncomfortable, and its lack of modern rider aids like traction control and multiple riding modes makes it feel less advanced compared to newer options. Emission regulations have also played a role in the GSXR600's struggles. Tightening environmental standards, especially in regions like Europe, forced Suzuki to make tough decisions regarding their lineup, As a result, some markets saw the GSXR600 phased out altogether. Even where it remains available, the perception of being outdated and non-compliant with modern standards has driven many potential buyers toward newer, more efficient models. Pricing is another sticking point. The GSXR600's MSRP, around $11,399, places it in competition with more versatile machines. Up next, we have a bike that aimed to combine cruiser comfort with sport bike flair, but ended up lost between two worlds. Number 3. Honda Fury. Introduced as an out-of-the-box chopper, it aimed to offer the visual appeal of a custom-built bike, without the hefty price tag or the maintenance headaches that usually come with hand-built machines. On paper, it seemed like a brilliant move, creating a chopper with Honda's legendary reliability and engineering while giving it that rebellious, handcrafted look. Unfortunately, the reality of the Fury did not match the expectations of the chopper crowd, and this model has been a tough sell for dealerships ever since. One of the most significant challenges for the Fury is its identity crisis. True chopper enthusiasts crave bikes that look and feel unique, with every part handcrafted or customized to their taste. The problem with the Fury is that it feels too polished and too perfect. The whole idea of a chopper is to have something raw, with a sense of imperfection that gives it personality. At the heart of the Fury is a 1,312 cubic centimeter V-twin engine that produces 57 horsepower and 73 pound-feet of torque. It is not the most powerful engine in its class, but it delivers a decent amount of low-end grunt typical of V-twin power plants. The engine's performance is smooth and reliable, which is great for everyday riding, but lacks the rough, rumbling character that many chopper riders expect. The exhaust note is subdued, lacking that signature roar, which only adds to the feeling that the Fury is a chopper impersonator rather than the real deal. The bike tips the scales at 672 pounds, making it a hefty machine to handle. The braking and suspension setup features a single disc brake, both front and rear, with a telescopic front fork and a rear monoshock. While adequate for standard riding, the braking performance does not match the aggressive styling, and the suspension can feel a bit too soft when tackling uneven roads. The long rake and extended front fork look the part but compromise handling, especially at low speeds or when maneuvering through tight spots. One of the key reasons the Fury has not sold well is that it lacks the soul that custom chopper enthusiasts look for. In the world of choppers, the bike itself is more than just a means of transportation. It is an expression of individuality and craftsmanship. Riders want a machine that tells a story, built piece by piece, with passion and creativity. The Fury, however, feels like it was designed by committee rather than born from a garage passion project. Even though Honda attempted to give it a rebellious custom look, the bike's factory precision makes it feel out of place among authentic choppers. Price is another sticking point. Although the Fury is marketed as an affordable alternative to custom-built choppers, it still costs significantly more than other cruiser models from both Honda and its competitors. With a starting price around $10,499, buyers willing to spend that kind of money on a chopper often prefer to save a bit more and invest in a fully customized build that aligns more with their personal tastes. These Machines are cool when they feel handcrafted and personal, not when they come straight from the factory floor. Next up, we have a retro-inspired machine that tried to capture the essence of the past, but ended up missing the mark entirely. Number 2. Yamaha XSR900. Introduced as part of Yamaha's Sport Heritage lineup, the XSR900 was meant to appeal to riders who wanted classic aesthetics without sacrificing cutting-edge engineering. However, despite its potential, the XSR900 has struggled to capture the attention of both retro enthusiasts and modern naked bike fans, leaving dealerships scrambling to sell them. At the heart of the XSR900 lies an 898 cubic centimeter inline-3 engine, delivering an impressive 115 horsepower and 65 pound-feet of torque. This power plant, shared with the popular MT-09, is known for its punchy mid-range and exhilarating top-end performance. The engine's triple-cylinder configuration offers a unique blend of torquey and smooth power delivery, making it suitable for both spirited rides and daily commuting. The bike weighs in at 425 pounds, which is relatively light, allowing for agile handling and quick acceleration. The braking and suspension setup features dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, offering substantial stopping power. The inverted front forks and adjustable rear monoshock are tuned for sporty performance, making the bike agile on twisty roads but slightly firm on rough city streets. Despite its robust performance and respectable specifications, the XSR900's design is where things start to fall apart. Yamaha intended for it to be an homage to the iconic bikes of the 70s and 80s, but the execution feels somewhat forced. The round headlights, stitched leather seat, and minimalist bodywork seem like they belong on different motorcycles, lacking the cohesive styling that truly classic bikes have. Compared to true retro-inspired bikes like the Triumph Bonneville or the Kawasaki Z900 RS, the XSR900 looks disjointed and less purposeful. This visual inconsistency makes it less desirable for those who value vintage charm. Adding to its struggle, the XSR900 is overshadowed by the MT-09, a bike that shares the same engine and frame but features more modern styling and a sportier stance. The MT-09 has established itself as a favorite among naked bike enthusiasts due to its aggressive looks, agile handling, and impressive performance. In contrast, the XSR900, despite being essentially the same bike mechanically, is perceived as the less exciting option. The price difference between the XSR900 and the MT-09 also plays a role in its slow sales. With a starting price around $9,999, buyers often feel they are paying a premium for aesthetic choices that do not fully satisfy the retro or modern criteria. Additionally, those looking specifically for a retro bike often opt for models from brands like Triumph or Royal Enfield, which offer more consistent vintage aesthetics without sacrificing modern technology. Another problem is that the XSR900's riding position is not as comfortable as it appears. The slightly forward-leaning posture and high foot pegs are more suited to spirited riding rather than relaxed cruising. This makes long rides tiring, and for those who expected a more laid-back retro experience, it feels like a mismatch. While the bike handles well and is undoubtedly quick, it does not deliver the comfort many retro enthusiasts expect from a bike with classic inspirations. If mixing past and present left this bike in limbo, just wait till you see the next model, a machine that tried to redefine its category but ended up alienating its core audience. Number 1. Kawasaki W800. Inspired by classic British bikes from the 1960s, the W800 aims to deliver that vintage charm with a touch of contemporary engineering. However, despite its charming aesthetics and nostalgic appeal, the W800 is struggling to find a place in today's market, and dealerships are finding it increasingly difficult to move this model off their floors. One of the primary reasons the W800 is not selling well is its failure to appeal to both traditionalists and modern riders. On one hand, enthusiasts who love the classic British styling tend to gravitate toward authentic vintage machines or models with a more storied heritage. On the other hand, modern riders looking for retro-inspired bikes often opt for more refined and feature-rich options from competitors like Triumph and Royal Enfield. The W800's in-between nature leaves it stuck in a niche that many riders simply do not find appealing. At the heart of the W800 is the 773 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine. This air-cooled engine is designed to replicate the feel of classic bikes, featuring a long-stroke design and a distinctive vertical layout. It produces 47 horsepower and 46 pound-feet of torque, offering modest performance, suitable for leisurely rides rather than aggressive commuting or touring. The engine's character is smooth and relaxed, with a distinctive thumping sound that gives it some nostalgic charm. However, the power output feels underwhelming compared to more modern retro-style bikes that offer significantly more horsepower and torque, making the W800 feel somewhat outdated in terms of performance. Weighing in at 488 pounds, the W800 is relatively lightweight compared to larger cruisers, but its center of gravity feels slightly high, making slow-speed maneuvering a bit awkward. The braking and suspension setup includes a single front disc brake and a single rear disc, offering decent stopping power but lacking the bite that modern riders might expect. The suspension setup features telescopic front forks and twin rear shocks, designed more for comfort than sportiness, which results in a compliant ride on smooth surfaces, but a somewhat vague feel when pushed through corners. One of the most significant challenges facing the W800 is its price point. Kawasaki positioned it as a premium retro bike, with a starting price around $9,999. This puts it in direct competition with more established and desirable models, like the Triumph Bonneville series and the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. These competitors not only offer better performance but also come with a richer heritage and more sophisticated components. As a result, many riders feel that the W800 does not offer enough value for its cost, leading to sluggish sales despite Kawasaki's best efforts to market it as a tribute to classic motorcycling. The market landscape also plays a crucial role in the W800's struggle. As retro motorcycles have gained popularity, brands like Triumph, Royal Enfield, and even Yamaha with their XSR series have set the standard high, offering a mix of classic aesthetics with modern performance. The W800, despite its nostalgic design, does not have the same iconic status or performance credentials to compete effectively. Riders looking for a blend of old-school charm and new-school performance often find themselves opting for competitors that deliver both more power and better handling dynamics. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Some of these bikes might be underappreciated, but that just means you could score a hidden gem at a bargain. If you enjoyed the list, make sure to subscribe for more motorcycle content and let us know in the comments. Would you pick any of these up, or are they just not your style?